Hello, everybody. This is Scott Smith, Senior Vice President of the Americas for Zango. Welcome to our first CC4 webinar. So glad to have everybody on the call today on this webinar. I've got here in the room with me Mr. Dave Webb, Vice President of Distributor Communications. Dave, glad to have you here.
Thank you, Scott.
And I've got also our founder and board member, Mr. Gordon Morton. Gordon, thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
And we also have a special guest with us today that we're going to introduce a little bit later, a secret guest. So everybody get excited for that.
Hello,
guys.
guest.
Yeah,
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything, secret guest. Hey, everybody. I just want to start off here by recapping where we've been here in this process. Everyone on this call knows about CC4. You know what's coming. You know how exciting it is. We've been working on this for over 5 years. Can you believe that? This whole program is 5 years in the making. CC4 was first announced to our distributor leaders at Elite Summit earlier this year in January. And in the spring, many of you on this call were involved in some product trials that we did to get some feedback and try a few concepts. We did a few things on Facebook and learned a lot from that experience. And since then, we've been in the pre-launch mode, getting together with our marketing, getting everything ready, and doing a lot of teasing and having a lot of teasers out there about what's coming. And let me tell you about what we've been doing just in the last couple of months here. We have been working on partnerships with people who are expert in the fields of weight loss, weight management, and wellness. We've been finalizing our products and formulas based a lot on the feedback that you all have given us from the product trials, getting those fine-tuned and done. We've been fine-tuning the program, which is another element of the whole CC4 system. And we've been working on new tools and things that will help you as you want to build your business and use these products and system as a consumer. So now we are finally ready. We are ready. The time is now, and I'm so pleased to be here today on this webinar, the first one about CC4, and to introduce our founder and board member, Mr. Gordon Morton.
Good morning. Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everyone out there in our Zango Nation who's calling in. I just returned from a couple of weeks of doing meetings over in the CIS market, wonderful meetings over there in Kazakhstan and Russia and Ukraine. And I'm suffering a little from the jet lag, so if I lapse into semi-consciousness, Scott's going to stab me with his pen in the neck. So we'll make sure that this call stays energetic.
That's why we scheduled this for right now, so that you could get rested all day, and here we are.
Yes, thank you, Scott.
We tried, Gordon.
He still has his pen at the ready. So, good morning, and we are about to embark on a wonderful journey together, all of us. And the slide that we're looking at says we're ready. And I'm going to set up some introductory comments this morning about what we are going to accomplish over the next few months. And just start with this first little slide here. This is a photo of the outfit that Gary will be wearing at the Elite Summit in January. Build a mental moment. Somewhere in the building, Gary is grimacing. He doesn't know why, but we've all been there in many ways, you know, whether it's a New Year's resolution or some impending bathing suit moment where we have to be in public with a bathing suit, or putting on a pair of pants for us men that they're not fitting the way they should be. And many of us have set about ambitious goals that we know from a weight loss perspective we need to accomplish. And we're all, unfortunately, subject to a lot of the modern lifestyle and convenience issues culturally. Sugary foods, toxic food choices, fattening foods, lack of exercise. I'm just going to we're going to go on a little mental journey here for a second. I want everybody to close their eyes for a second and just imagine that they are walking down a street in any town, USA, circa about 1955 America here, and maybe in your memory you're envisioning it that it's in black and white, but it's a hot summer's day. You decide you're going to stop at the corner store to grab a Coke, And imagine, this corner store, the Coke that they would present to you in 1955. And if you look at the graphic that we have presented there, that's a picture of a Coca-Cola circa 1955 that they would present to you. Between 6 and 8 ounces of soda, calorie count somewhere in the 90 to 100 calorie range. Now, I want you to flash forward to modern times here in this 2011, and you're walking down the same street and you decide to stop at a 7-Eleven because you're thirsty, and you go in and you get a Coca-Cola. Well, what they present to you, or what is presented to you now as an option, is the Big Gulp. I don't know if any of you remember the first time you saw one of these monsters. For me, I remember I was listening to Duran Duran, and with my friends, it was in a parking lot of the 7-Eleven in Toronto, Canada, and I remember seeing a guy walk out with the first Big Gulp I ever saw, and I was mortified. How in the world could any person in contemporary culture drink that much Coca-Cola? And yet, now, flash forward, they went from the Big Gulp to the Super Gulp, and now we have the Double Gulp, 64 ounces of caffeinated Coke goodness. But you do the math, and the math on 64 ounces, I mentioned an 8-ounce Coke is somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 calories. You look at a 64-ounce Coke, that is a whopping 800 calories. Now, to put that, the takeaway here is, if you look, anybody that's listening to this right now that happens to be in front of a food label here in the United States, spin that label around and take a look at the dietary facts panel. You take a look, it tells you how many, calories and fat content and whatnot, but take a look at the bottom. There's an asterisk. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but in small type it says the percentage of daily values based on a 2,000-calorie diet. So even our unenlightened U.S. government has put a mark out there, or a measurement that says the average American needs 2,000 calories to get from point A to point B. Now, consider what I just mentioned about the fact that just a Coca-Cola, an 800-calorie, 64-ounce Big Gulp, represents almost 50% of what our unenlightened U.S. government has established is the required daily allowance. So, if that doesn't resonate, let's also look at the other end of the spectrum, okay, lifestyle contrast. So let's go forward to the next slide here. Beautiful photo. I loved the style of the 50s. We had a great style, the fedora. I want some, it's coming back, Dave.
You look good in the fedora.
Yeah, I will, but I can't pull it off just yet. Someone's got to bring the fedora back. Anyway, I want you to think back. Again, close your eyes for a moment. Imagine that you're Mr. 1955 or Mrs. 1955, and your average daily routine back then, how much actual exercise and movement was involved with life in an average day in 1955. Maybe it's the weekend, so you got your honey-do list if you're a man. I still have my honey-do list that my wife has arranged for me. Imagine you're mowing the lawn in 1955. I don't know if you remember the beginning of Leave It to Beaver, where Wally's mowing the lawn with that lawnmower that doesn't have an engine. It's the push and pull one, or you're shoveling snow. It's the winter in Minnesota, and you're shoveling snow. Well, you're using an actual shovel, and somebody calculated that shoveling snow with a shovel is a 600 to 800 calorie burn activity. Now, flash forward to modern day. Nobody has those push mowers anymore. We have the motorized lawnmower, or the sit-on lawnmower, as many people will point out, or a lawn service, somebody that will come and mow your lawn for you, or shovel your snow, or a snow blower if you're doing your own. So you say, okay, well, that's a man. What about a woman? Well, you think about your average female in 1955. When you washed the dishes back then, you washed the dishes. There was physical activity. When you were mixing something, you were mixing a cake. You were using an actual wooden spoon in a big bowl, and there was activity that has been taken over by modern conveniences. The phone rings. In 1955, there was one telephone if you were lucky enough to have it in the house. So everybody jumps up from what they're doing and runs to the one telephone to answer it. Nowadays, man, if your kids don't have a cell phone, you're living in Amish country. Everybody has a cell phone or a wireless phone. You want to listen to music, you got a record player, it plays 5 songs, you have to get up, move the needle, flip the record over, and listen to the other side. Now you can listen to 200 CDs or your iPod with 2,000 songs and without getting up from the couch and burning a single calorie. So you think about, okay, shopping, your average shopping trip in 1955, Mrs. 1955 goes to the butcher store and the fruit market and the bakery store, and then she stops at the dry cleaner, and maybe she needs to pick up some paint, the furniture store, and she makes multiple stops getting in and out of her car and walking back and forth. But now, in 2011, we have the super Walmart. You get out of your car once, you got butcher, baker, candlestick maker, furniture paint, car tires, dry cleaning in one convenient stop. Thousands and thousands of calories that we no longer burn that we used to burn back in the day. So that is the situation that we have. That is the gravity of what we're fighting against as a culture. And we have, by the way, if you want to see the spend involved in America for this problem we have, U.S. consumers are spending huge dollars to the tune of about $100 billion per year on everything from meal replacements to diet pills to surgeries, etc. And you think about the solutions that we have out there, the drugs that people will take. Obviously, people will put their health at risk or compromise to lose weight. Diets, and you've seen them all, man. They're the one that I love, like the cabbage soup diet. Just eat cabbage soup. It's just cabbage soup and it has celery in it. And I tried it. I'm not proud of it, but I tried it once. Gosh, I probably would have started to eat the furniture after about 2-3 days. You're just famished. It's just not. It's counter lifestyle. Who wants to go to work and try to sit down to a steamy bowl of cabbage soup every single day for the rest of their life? It's just not applicable. And surgeries, beyond laparoscopy and some of these other things, expensive things out there with the health risks. You think about liposuction, which has gained so much popularity. And I'm not disrespecting if people do like liposuction, but consider that the average liposuction is they can only take 4 to 6 pounds of fat. That's what they can take. I think the maximum by law is somewhere around 8 pounds if you're morbidly obese. So people will go under a surgical procedure for 4 to 6 pounds of fat. When you think in reality you can lose 4 to 6 pounds of fat in a very healthy manner with proper lifestyle, proper dietary education, and with a really great routine of supplements, which we're about to launch. So that leads up to my slide here. Next month, the wait is over. A little clever spelling. I don't know who to give the credit to for this phrase. Dave claims he said it, and I heard it mentioned by Anton Garrity. And then I also see a few other folks around the table taking credit for this, but I know it wasn't me. I just think it's a clever phrase. So next month, the wait is over, and I get the pleasure right now to bring on someone in my presentation, but I will mention a few things before I segue here. We have a launch next month, and you know that we've had some planning, and you as distributors are planning, and you've heard this: plan your work, work your plan. Next month the wait is over, and all the planning that we've done, all the lists and names that we've generated, will have a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for presentations all over North America. And I will tease one thing, by the way, that our test group has not heard about, has been privy to. But we have a product in our offering that we will unveil as part of our offering next month. And this is one of our secret weapons that nobody's seen, and that is an aid, an assistant when it comes to appetite management. I don't know if you've ever had one of those days where you've woken up and you just I don't crave the fatty foods that I've been usually craving on an average day. What did I do differently? And the chances are that you had a good combination of dietary factors that in the previous 24 hours. Well, we have a supplement that we will be launching that is a support for appetite control and appetite management. It helps curb cravings. It helps normalize and maintain healthy blood sugar levels. It nutritionally supports the body's metabolic functions, and that product has been kept very deep, deep, deep undercover. We would like to tell you more, but we would have to kill whoever told you. So next month, the wait is over. And I'm going to segue here to introduce a special guest we have on the call. And Zango has been partnering with some very specialized individuals in the last few months. And the next person that I am introducing on the call is representing a team of experts who we have been working with. And this next mystery person that I will introduce is a nutritionist. She is a wellness consultant. She's a certified group fitness trainer, a radiographic technologist, and most importantly, a mother of two. And so I'm going to segue here for a moment and allow her to share a few minutes with you this morning. Mystery guest.
Well, thank you, Gordon.
You're very welcome.
I feel so special being a mystery guest this morning. I am really excited to be working with Gordon and the founders and the whole team here at Zango. Our team has just had a great time working with them over the past little bit. And I want to just go into CC4 here. And CC4 from Zango is revolutionary. Nothing like this has ever been done before with the supplementation, the nutrition, the exercise, and the tools that Zango is putting together. It's amazing, and you are going to love it. CC4 is not a temporary or desperate measure. It works, it's simple, it is social, and it is sustainable. We are retraining everything you have learned from modern society. You know, you heard Gordon so vividly describe what is going on with our nutrition and our lack of exercise, and we're going to retrain that. CC4 matches your mind and your body's natural patterns into just a complete weight loss and lifestyle program. Now, that lifestyle that will help you look your best, will help you live your best, and it will help you be your best. My team and I have had the opportunity to work with several people kind of behind the scenes right now at Zango, and I have to tell you, they're having phenomenal results. It is so exciting to see the changes that are happening, not only physically to them, but also emotionally, and being able to see, you know, their energy levels increase. It's so exciting, and we can't wait to share this with each and every one of you. We're excited about our partnership with Zango, and I'm excited, and my team is excited to reach out to each of you, to meet you, to help you retrain yourself, and to have a better lifestyle, and to live an even better life. And we know that CC4, what's going on with CC4 and Zango, is going to be awesome. We're excited.
Thank you, mystery guest person. We're looking at her. We're chuckling because we know her name and we know how awesome she is. But to everyone else, she's just a mystery guest.
And I like it.
That is awesome. And truly, the results are phenomenal. We are seeing things in people throughout Zango and throughout the land that people on this call are going to be flipping for. This is my moment to share a little bit of the timeline as we roll forward. This is so that you know what to expect as we go into these next little bits of time. First of all, you need to know that we have, right now, obviously, the Go Tour is going on through October and November. That's where we have some of the recapping of convention, some of the phenomenal announcements there. Today is the CC4 webinar. This is the recording of it. You're hearing it this afternoon, and then everybody is going to be hearing it from now on as we build to the next event, because in November, get your calendars out, get your pens and papers, because this is the date you have been waiting for. November 14th, it's a Monday. That will be the CC4 on-demand pre-launch event. So heads up, November 14th. Is there any mystery? Is there any curiosity about when this date is? Does anyone not know a calendar that has Monday the 14th, now circled in orange, bright yellow, red, something, November 14th. Don't miss that date, because that is what we're shooting for between now and then. Coming up right after that in December, we'll have another webinar. We'll do some follow-up. We're trickling things out, folks. We're not going to give you the whole enchilada right up front. Oh, I say enchilada and my heart just kind of... Anyway, we're rolling right into December with another webinar. We're following up with more information there. And then, of course, January, the giant event, will have the actual launch. Scott, tell us more.
Dave, appreciate those comments and the timeline. And then we talk about what's next. Phase 1 will launch on November 14th. That's the date that you need to have on your calendar, as Dave said, circled in orange. Be there on November 14th for that launch event.
And that's an online. Sorry, that's a.
That will be
we're not saying
online.
Be there.
No, you don't have to be there.
Get yourself
be online
in front of a computer.
And so you'll get more details on how to get onto that system and watch that event. You'll be able to show this event on the 14th over and over again. And so you'll want to continue to use that thing after the 14th to get other people involved, excited, introduced to what CC4 is. We'll be talking about our new brand for CC4. You'll learn the new name of CC4. You'll understand what the products are that are included in CC4. And the whole program element of CC4 will be revealed on November 14th. And on November 14th, or the day after, you will have the very first chance to order CC4. And this is great because it's November. And we've been saying that it's coming in January, but November, you will have an opportunity to buy CC4. Now, you won't be able to buy the whole thing, but you will be able to buy the first phase of what you'll need to prepare your body for the full set of products that will be available in December.
Now, here's what's cool. We're in October. We're talking about the November event. Between now and the November 14th, you are going to get your people psyched. You're in the pre-launch right now. You have been invited to something that not everybody is invited to. It's pre-launch. We're releasing a few things at a certain time, and you're going to want to be there on the 14th with as many people as you can between now and then, so that on the 14th you have a bang-up week.
That's exactly right, and that's the whole point of this webinar, is to get you guys going right now, because the 14th is coming right up. It's sooner than you think, and we've got a lot of work to do between now and then so that we hit this thing hard on November 14th and through the holidays. It's going to be wonderful.
So we're going to arm you right now. We're going to give you information, what you need to know, what you need to say, what you need to do between now and the 14th so that you're ready.
Let's start off, Dave, with telling them what CC4 is not and what it is.
First of all, you need to know what CC4 is not. You've heard from Gordon. You've heard from mystery guest number 1. And we're going to hit this right now so that everybody really knows. This is not a diet. There is no magic pill. There is no quick fix. It cannot be complicated. All of those things have proven to be failures. Gordon covered it in his eloquent speech earlier. All of these things that you're looking at on the screen right now have proven to be wrong. Now, people will still come out with a diet. They'll come out with another pill. They'll come out with some other mystery something. We are the ones who are going to launch the full and complete program. So here is what it is. CC4, when it comes out, and again, we're starting in a couple of weeks. It's November 14th. We're calling it a lifestyle reset because that is what is required. My wife teases me that I've spent 47 years building a certain body. There's no magic pill that's going to erase 47 years of Dave. It will need to be a lifestyle reset. We have 10-plus years of research that has gone into this, and trust me, when we're talking about 10 years, the results that have come out of this have been sustainable. That means it's not a flash in the pan. It's not a peak with some wonderful results and then fade away after 3 days, 3 months, 3 years. These are sustainable results. What people accomplish on CC4, they will be able to keep with them for the rest of their lives. And it's a revolutionary combination. Sincerely, you will have people who talk about supplements, who have a program, and who might provide tools. Zango is bringing out the whole, again, the whole enchilada all at once, the supplements you need, the program you need, and the tools you need to live your best lifestyle, to be your best self. Scott, how do people share this information?
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some things that you can go say right now to people that might be interested in joining you as a distributor or just as a consumer for CC4. So here's some examples of some things that we could say. You know, I just learned about an enormous issue that's just plaguing all of Americans and North America in general. And it's because of the food that we buy. It's because of our eating habits and our exercise habits. 70% of us, just in the United States alone, 70% of us are either overweight or obese. And up until now, there's been nothing that addresses the issue appropriately. Everything has either failed or not had a lasting impact. I work with a very successful health and wellness company. It's called Zango. They've been around for nearly a decade, and they've been the first to market with category-creating wellness products that have been some of the most successful in the whole industry. And for the last 5 years, Zango's been working around the clock to create something that's never been available in this wellness category that we're talking about right now. It's not just a revolutionary weight loss product. It's something very different. It's something that is revolutionary and works. It's proven. But it's an entire system. It incorporates all the elements of losing weight, keeping it off, and maintaining a healthy and vigorous lifestyle. Okay, those are some great words to use. You can also talk about how there are already many success stories of people losing 40 to 50 pounds in less than 6 months. Okay, let me say that again. Yes, there are already success stories of people who have lost 40 to 50 pounds in 6 months. We've been anxiously awaiting this system. All of us have. And it's nearly ready to launch. So here's what you can say. As a Zango distributor, I'm going to have access to some of the pre-launch information and some opportunities to buy the product. And I've got a few spots open for people who might be interested. The whole program launches in January 2012, but I've got access to some of these pre-launch elements in November, and we'll start the program in December. That's, of course, when everyone needs it most and when everyone's creating their New Year's resolution. There's going to be a limited supply, so I can only fill up my list with a few people here. I've got a few spots open. Can I reserve a space for you? And I don't want you to tell me yes just because you think you need to say yes. I only want you on my list if you're really going to commit and do this program. Are you in? What do you think, guys? Were those good words to use, good phrases to use? Anything else that you, Dave, and you, Gordon, want to add that people could use?
Scott, he's doing pretty good this morning. No, I don't know that I need to correct him, but I agree. The curiosity approach at this point is a great way to plan your work right now. We have a strategy to launch strategic bits of information between now and the end of the year, and so yeah, the curiosity approach that Scott mentioned is excellent. I can't add anything.
Yeah, and use the limited supply to your advantage.
Because you are in the pre-launch phase, you're able to invite people in, and Scott made a great point. We'd love to talk about this in November and December because that's when everybody knows that we're going to be packing on calories. That's actually the celebration of calorie season.
Yeah.
So we don't want to just show up on January 1st or January 15th or January 31st and say, now I'm ready to get in shape. It starts now. It starts in October and November and December in the very times that our body needs us to be aware of it most. So these are some things that you can say, that you can share with people so that not because you want them to sign up on the spot. They need to join us on November 14th. They need to find out what it is we're making available, how awesome it is, how committed you are to it, so that when they get excited about it, they've got a team, you've got a team in place, and we're all part of the pre-launch, and we're rolling into the actual launch with momentum. That's why the pre-launch is there.
Now, Dave, there may be some people who do want to sign up right now and become distributors, and they will also prepare for November 14th by bringing their friends on. Those people and people who are already on your teams, you need to get them signed up and on 100 PV ADP. Get them buying our products right now. Get them buying Zango Juice, Elavive, all of our products. Have them try Junie. Get them on some products right now. Get them on ADP for November. And then what I want you to do, everybody on this call, I want you to make a commitment to go find 100 people who verbally commit to being on that webinar on the 14th and listening and getting on this program. 100 names, 100 contacts. Now, I've been out a little bit talking with some distributor groups, and I throw that out there. Let's commit to 100 each. And I get some blank stares. I get people thinking, there's no way, I can't do that. 100 people, that's tough. But then we talk a little bit about how easy it is based on the things that we just told you, the things you can say to get people interested. And people are coming back to me the next day or the day after saying, you know what, Scott, that was actually easier than I thought. I came up with 92 names without even hardly having to think about it. It is easy to do. There are people out there that will be interested in these products, and you just got to write down those names, go talk to them with the things that we just told you to say, and get them committed.
Here's another way to look at that. If you had this information going into Zango Juice being launched 9 years ago, if you could have come up with 100 names of people who could use and benefit from Zango Juice, would you not have just jumped over any barrel or jumped through any hoop to let those people know so that they could enjoy the benefits of Zango Juice at the launch. Of course you would. So now that you have the background and the history and the experience that we've been talking about, 10+ years of proven results, more than 5 years of research, it's easy to think of the 100 people, goodness sakes, walk down the mall and just look at people who look like they need to be on CC4 and just say, you know what, I'm so excited about something that's going to take care of my family. I mean, we're talking to distributors. You know how to take care of business. But the exciting part is that we are at the pre-launch phase so that when we hit November 14th, we are a giant mass of incredible humanity moving toward even a better future. I just made that up right now, but it still feels good.
Well, and what you say, Dave, about what happened nearly 10 years ago when the company was first starting is exactly what we're asking you to do now. Go out there and get your list of names, get people psyched up and committed for November 14th. And those who want to build a business, get them signed up now. And what we need you to do, the last point on this slide, is to begin planning what you're going to do on November 14th. We're going to have our on-demand broadcast on November 14th. That thing will be available for you on the 14th and for many days after. So start planning multiple parties that you can have at your homes, in hotel rooms, wherever you need to have them. Plan these parties and get people into those rooms and show them again and again what we're going to launch on the 14th. That's your tool to get people signed up and purchasing the first phase of these products and preparing themselves for what will happen in December.
Do a quick recap of that November 14th event. Founders will be speaking. We will be launching the brand. We will be introducing the products. We'll be telling a program. We're going to introduce mystery guests who will lose the mystery part of their title. Mm-hmm. We are going to give the information that you need to turn this into your own multi-million-dollar business. That's November 14th, and get yourselves ready.
Everything you can do now to get a head start is going to be a big win for you on November 14th.
Yeah. You control your momentum rolling into this thing.
Exactly right.
Okay. So thank you, Scott and Dave, and our talented mystery guest, Mrs. X, who will be unveiled next month. Thank you for everybody on the line who joined us today. And you'll see that my last slide here has a statement at the top that says, with knowledge comes confidence. And I just need to relate, this was kind of an interesting bit of feedback. You know, of course, when you have test groups, you hear the, I lost inches or I lost pounds. But this is an interesting testimonial that came my way from one of our staff here in the office, and she made this following comment, that there's a new knowledge and enlightenment that comes with this program to do with everything from dietary choices to supplementation to even the way that she shops and buys food and approaches food gatherings. And she said with that knowledge came a confidence and almost an empowerment. In other words, going into food situations and having a knowledge about what foods affect your ability or inability to lose weight. And I agree that this is a beautiful metaphor also for our business, that with knowledge comes confidence and empowerment. And so now is the time for us to enter this beautiful market of weight management. And next month, we will have this amazing call that both Dave and Scott set up. You know, there's as I mentioned earlier in the call, I just returned back from Russia, and there's a wonderful group there out of St. Petersburg, Russia, which is I don't know if you've ever seen pictures of St. Petersburg, but it's this amazing city north of Moscow. It was actually founded by Peter the Great, if you know a little bit about history, and essentially he built what he at the time said was the modern city that Russia as a country needed. And he did it with a kind of a rally cry or a phrase, a motto, a mantra. And I'm going to butcher the Russian here, but he said, Promilenia Smerti Padovna, which essentially, loosely translated, means delay is death. And that was the mantra that they launched to drag that region of the world kicking and screaming into the modern century. And the same is true for our business. Delay is death. Next month is an excellent opportunity to brush off your Rolodex and start the self-fulfilling prophecy of a big business boom for 2012. So again, thank you for all our listeners today for tuning in, and for our special guests here in the room. Look forward to spending some time with you on the 14th of November.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Good night.